Fam.
So
let's talk about your favorite subject.
Yeah.
Neoliberalism.
Peak neoliberalism, you guys. What is peak neoliberalism? It's what's happening right now with the Democratic Party. It's happening from Biden. It's happening with these so-called progressives, and I'm going to call them out because I love calling them out. So, as you know, the Green Party BS that happened. Let's look at this because it wasn't just Wisconsin that happened. It's happening in other states as well. She said here.
Friend of the show.
A vote for us is a vote for democracy, the Democratic Party shouts as they sue Pennsylvania and Texas to kick the Green Party off the ballot.
Wow, really?
Texas, however, as far as I know this morning, confirmed that they kept the Green Party on the ballot, or the Green Party was able to fight to keep themselves on there. And, you know, I already addressed, like, I don't think they conducted their elections in a fair way, but this affects all third parties. It's wrong, and the Democratic Party is rigging elections in front of us, as they have been for a while, yet people still want to pretend that this is a good thing. So let's talk about my friend Rokana over here. who has been really, the moment Bernie Sanders lost, he just kind of like went full neoliberal. And I said, Rokana's an Obama Democrat. Cheering for election rigging and bringing down third-party voices is Chef's kiss. He is not a progressive. Get it through your heads, Bernie-crats and progressives. He tagged Ben Winkler, the guy we were talking about yesterday or the other day, saying his vision and execution in winning a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat in April has helped preserve so far a fair election in the state. What he and party activists did will always be a huge part of the story of taking back our democracy.
Such a piece of crap, bro. What a piece of
taking back our democracy. Man. This is after Rokana was pushing regime change propaganda in Venezuela that we talked about as well.
Sympathizing for the Guaido.
For
the Guaido, you know, people who trying to throw the government, sticking on their side.
It's disgusting.
The Venezuela propaganda.
Yeah.
That show was disgusting.
He also, the Hong Kong Decency Act, which has the NED board all over.
He's terrible on foreign policy.
Terrible.
So what the hell?
He used to be good, right? Wasn't he one of the good ones on foreign policy?
He was better, yeah. But, I mean, I just want to say real quick, though, Rokana, like, he's gaslighting. He's acting like this is a good thing and saying this is democratic. Motherfucker, you just like removed democracy by silencing a group of people, and I'm gonna show you guys. A lot of these people have been saying they're gonna vote for Donald Trump now out of spite.
Can we talk about this idiot here?
So this idiot, we helped on an event he organized here in Los Angeles a while ago. Well, I did. Okay, years ago. Yeah. Josh Fox, Black Lives Matter. You can't say your Black Lives Matter if you're supporting Joe Biden. I'm so sorry. Republicans are helping Greens stay on the ballot in swing states. This should tell you all you need to know about both. Oh, my God. I'm not telling you what to do. No, blame it on the Greens and the Republican. But he's using the Greens as a reason to blame Republicans. I'm saying that the Green Party U.S. is willing to work with racist fascists to deny the majority, the popular vote. Nobody's denying the popular vote except you because you're scared you're going to lose because your candidate's a shitty motherfucker. Collaborating in swing states to deny democracy is their game. That's not democracy. That's gaming the system. Collaborating in swing states to deny democracy is their game. That's not democracy. That's gaming the system. That's what I'm saying to you, because that's exactly what you and all your little cohorts just did. You're manipulating the whole system to say you're saving democracy, but you're completely excluding the people's voice who don't want to vote for either fascist. They want to vote green. Let them fucking vote green. Why are you pretending this is a good thing? And he's just discussing and talking about this. And he said Howie Hawkins teaming up with racist fascists to deny the majority of popular vote. Howie Hawkins is close, is not even left enough for these people. Like that he made people uncomfortable because he was parroting Russiagate, and you're trying to paint him as being a Republican when he's falling right in line.
Not a Republican. He's trying to say he's a racist fascist. Once again, that whole you cannot talk to the right.
What principles are these?
You're the one who's working with a racist fascist. You're teaming up with a racist fascist, Josh Fox. I've always said this about this clown when he talk about Joe Stein back in the days. This guy's a phony. He's always been a phony. He had one good issue, and Susan Sarandon propped him up. I wish Susan Sarandon can go back and unprop him up, because this guy's a clown. He's always been a clown, and his work sucks. Go back to your hole, Josh Fox.
And he wouldn't have gotten his work if he wasn't a privileged man whose parents had a lot of money, were able to fund his fucking shit, by the way. So I just want to say this, though. I could have my disagreements with Howie, so could Pasta, But the guy's not a freaking fascist. Are you kidding me?
This guy's denying.
Are you kidding me?
Denying options for people to vote for.
That's all it is. It's not even about, this isn't about Howie Hawkins. This is about the fact that the Green Party, they're trying to paint them as helping Republicans because guess what? This is what they did 4 years ago. 4 years ago, they did the same thing, tying Jill Stein to Vladimir Putin and saying, oh, she's helping Republicans. He was spewing the same fucking shit 4 years ago.
See, fam, too, it's like, I'm not a violent man, too, but there's certain, like, little dweeby white boys that I really want to punch in the fucking nose. Eric Swalwell is another one. The other one, I just want to punch him right in the fucking nose. Excuse my French, Mom. Sorry for cursing. And hi, Mama June. But I want to beat the crap out of freaking Josh Fox. Sometimes he's such an asshole with the things he says. Really, I just want to just knock him once right in the friggin' nose. Sometimes, not violent. Just would like to do it in my dream.
In a dream.
I'm just gonna. I just said you don't have to show my tweet because we basically went over. I just said I was gonna expose these people because they're dumbasses. They're dumbasses.
Oh my gosh, those tweets are terrible.
I know he got a lot of people going after him. Thankfully so. And here we go. Theo is with Addie Barkin is an Elizabeth Warren Democrat. Okay, remember this guy Addie Barkin who has this condition where he's pretty much like always has to go into the hospital. I think it's is it ALS?
What are you promoting when you say the Green Party is a spoiler? We need a spoiler to let your neo-fascist policies come in, your neoliberal policies.
So he said,
pouring in, you assholes.
He said, hallelujah, best news of the day by a mile. Absentee ballots in Wisconsin can be mailed as scheduled now. Plus, there will be no Green Party spoiler on the ballot, so the choice will be crystal clear. Fascism or democracy.
They're still
Trump
just pushing
or
this
Biden.
Shit. They're still pushing this crap.
So, I mean, this guy was supporting Bernie initially for Medicare for All. Then he turned around and was kind of like toying with Elizabeth Warren. Then eventually he came on to Joe Biden. But this guy has ALS. And I said something along the lines of, you just commended a fascist, meaning Biden, commended a fascist act, because it is a fascist act. What the Democrats just did is fascist. That rigged these elections. I repeat, you're cheering for fascism. And for what? A man who sees you on your deathbed because he has LAS in the middle of a pandemic and denies you Medicare for all. How the mighty have fallen. Because you know what? This guy, Joe Biden, isn't going to give you, Addie, or anybody else Medicare for all, even if you're dying, even if you have a condition where if he goes outside, he could catch COVID and die or whatever. He could catch anything because he has ALS. And he's more susceptible to dying, and you're still gonna pretend Joe Biden isn't a fascist, that you're voting for democracy?
Attention, neoliberals! Joe Biden is a fascist. Repeat: Joe Biden is a fascist. Vosh, Joe Biden is a fascist. Josh Fox, Joe Biden is a fascist.
It's just so disgusting how the mighty have fallen. Wow.
It's disgusting. And it gets worse because the people for Bernie, this page that existed, somebody caught a screenshot because they keep deleting their shit, had said this: our system is so inherently patriarchal, they didn't think to perform safe and largely reversible vasectomies. So instead of attacking the fact that somebody performed a hysterectomy, now they're saying they didn't, they should have performed vasectomies instead. You're basically saying shoot them in the leg. Shoot him in the leg. I mean, these people just don't, they're like not attacking the problem. They're making this a gender issue now. Oh, so because you didn't perform vasectomies now, let's say this is a part of the patriarchy. How about we don't perform either, you fucking morons? Like, this is peak neoliberalism here. Why do we have to fucking cut people's genitalia, like, if they don't want to? If they don't want to, don't, like, what? Why? Oh, so now it's equal because you want to perform vasectomy? This is the stupidity of the neoliberals that I can't get over. This is why the right this is why the right can, like, attack you and you can't respond when you spew shit like this.
I mean, this is also reminding me of the whole kind of Bill Cosby thing, and I'm wrong on that too as well. It's like they said, Bill Cosby, it's racist. Like, white people like him have gotten away with that stuff. And I'm like, I think it was like 80 women that reported him at this point. At what point do we say the patriarchal? Right. I mean, how about they're both bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get.
How about we don't do that?
Yeah.
Like, period. Like, what you?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh, so somebody stick up for the Green Party off the ballot and watch what happens?
Okay, let's hear a little bit of what this guy has to say.
Black atheist.
Kick strategy of kicking Greens off of the ballot in these states, but it does not help Joe Biden or the Democrats at all. It's going to make people mad. It's going to make people rebellious. It doesn't help the Democratic Party at all because the people that was voting green was more likely voting down ballot Democrats, down ballot progressives. But now, you got hundreds of thousands of people that's going to sit out. They're going to sit out because you hate democracy. You don't want to see people vote for who they want to vote for.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party is full of hypocrites to tell us that we got to vote fascism out, but they are the ones who acting like fascists. Taking away people's right to vote is going to make them rebellious. It's going to make them probably just vote for Trump altogether and say, fuck the Democratic Party, fuck America altogether. This does not help your cause. And if you were smart, you would just leave people the fuck alone. We had enough of you. Don't you think that we had enough of you? You think this is going to make us just say, oh, well, I'm just going to vote for Joe? No. I'm getting sick and tired of you. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave us the fuck alone. And let us vote how the fuck we want.
Can we get this guy on the show?
Yeah, right?
Can we get this guy on the show? I love you. Whoever you are, whatever you're, 6 Mile Rome, I love you. Please come on the Convo couch and talk with us.
Drops mic. I mean, just
look at the picture on his Johnny. If you go to his look at put that up there.
I just can't.
I love this guy. Somebody contact this guy.
That was a black man. People who say I'm privileged for not voting for Joe Biden. That was somebody, a person of color, who freaking because they'll say, oh, you don't care about what Donald Trump is doing. And like, no, bro, this guy is just telling you the truth. People this isn't gonna make people vote for Joe Biden in any way, shape, or form. This is gonna make people vote for Donald Trump. I can't tell you how many people have already said that they're gonna vote for Donald Trump already, just to spite. Like, people are trying to like make a thing in Wisconsin that says we're all gonna vote for Trump because of what they did. So
let me tell you something. They tempt people every day with that shit. Like, they make people go vote for Donald Trump. I just put that one up there. That's the next one right there. They make people think about voting for Donald Trump all the time because they are so. Because here's the thing,
and it's not like people want to. They're just angry.
It's like, well, the thing is that they are who we thought they are. Remember the old Dennis Green saying, Johnny? That was a whole quote. They are who we thought they are. The Republicans are who we think they are. They come out and tell us. We're like, no, we disagree, but that's what they are. The Democrats come to you in pretty roses. They're like the wise guy.
Wolf in sheep's clothing.
They'll whack you. You won't hear them coming because you won't see them because they'll pretend to be your friend.
They'll give you a bottle of wine,
pro-worker,
take you to dinner,
anti-racist, and that.
Tell you they love you.
Yeah, all that shit.
And then they'll be like,
boom.
Brute.
That's what they'll do to you, and that's why they are more dangerous, I think.
That felt good, fam.
For you, it did. For me, it was like I was picturing you with one of my big
I know. I was picturing
knives.
myself with that, too.
Oh, my God. See how she is? Help me. Send help.
I'll send Gavin Newsom because he'll save the day.
Send Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris.
Oh, they'll save the day. Look at this. Peak neoliberalism. I think that should be a category on the Convo couch every fucking episode.
And let me tell you something about Gavin Newsom, fam, doing some looking into it.
Look at
Remember when the executive order said that if the state puts up $100, then they'll match it $300, but you can file if the state runs out of money.
Yeah, where's our money, Gavin?
Well, supposedly today I had to fill something out. They're not going to give us the extra $100 a week. They're just going to give us the money from the federal government. In other words, Gavin Newsom is saying that they're out of the money that was given to them by the federal government. They can't do it. They can do stuff for other contractors, other fracking companies, other big businesses in California, but you, the worker, F you. You don't get that extra $100 a week, which means a lot more to you, that $100, than the millions and trillions of dollars that you gave to the 1% here in California, Gavin Newsom.
Look at them. Look, they're matching. They look post-apocalyptic, ready for this movie that they're filming.
They care about climate change.
This is California, though.
Classic.
This is California.
Can you do the Kamala pose? Well, climate change is real.
Well, climate change is real.
Hold on, I gotta put it next. Do it sideways. Get sideways on me. Feet, be Newsom.
Put your hands in your back pocket and turn to me.
Climate change. It's real.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
I just can't.
You're a donkey.
There's just I just can't. Gavin Newsom issued so many fracking permits, and Kamala Harris has been nowhere to be found.
40 since the pandemic started. 40.
Eating ice cream.
40 since the pandemic.
And then, of course, you would think these two could be the worst thing ever, capitalizing on a tragedy that we're all experiencing here while he goes to the gym, etc. But then comes Uncle Joe.
Well, fam,
Joe.
I think this is a big win for Joe Biden. It's obvious to me that he loves Latino people.
Oh.
Let me show you why. Here you go, Johnny.
You know how when you try to speak Spanish and it sucks? Okay, this is 100 million times worse.
Why did you have to put out my negatives to put out Joe positive to prop up Joe Biden?
Because you just had a Joe Biden moment.
Fam, you know the thing. Let's play this. He loves Latin people.
I can't even play the Despacito song.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
You can't play a little bit of it and just cut it?
I just have one thing to say.
One thing to say.
Hang on here.
Here we go.
Okay. There you go. So he starts.
In and out real quick. He really played Despacito, this donkey. Look at even the person who's doing the sign language is laughing. But this is what the Democrats give you in a nutshell. They give you lip service. Remember Cornel West? Lip service. Joe Biden is the Milli Vanilli of politics. Lip service, brother. That's what they give you. This is the shit. What does this really mean? What does this mean? This is the guy who wanted to build the fence bigger than ever before. This is the guy who was the #1 lead advocate for the Democrats when it came to the Iraq war, bombing indigenous people in their homeland. He doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. This was the worst selection the Democratic Party could ever make whatsoever.
Let me tell you, Tina and I went to an event where they were all putting out their immigration policy, and Joe Biden's campaign could not commit to abolishing ICE. They could not even to abolishing ICE. They couldn't commit to pretty much any substantial reform. And people started yelling at them. A lot of the immigrants that were there, they were protesting him because they can't commit to any tangible policy at all. So there's no reason to vote for him anyway.
That's my president, fam. He played Despacito.
Well, that was the whole thing. When we saw that status quo thing, we saw those people getting so angry with the Trump people. She was coming over trying to talk, but at the same time, they're advocating for Joe Biden. It's like, you're getting emotional, getting all about this, but yet you're going and you're moving from fascism to crypto-fascism, if that's the way. I say it's moving from vomit to shit. Whatever you want to call it, anyway. It's not the right choice.
And then
let's talk about a really progressive channel. Right there. No, it's right there.
Okay.
I just wanted to say TYT is progressive as can be.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the Young Turks and their affiliates are the embodiment of the moderate white liberal that Malcolm X and MLK feared. They co-opt movements for every big issue and stifle any progress. Look at how they defend a pedophilia group here. Okay. So I don't know. Yeah, okay, you'll just listen to a little bit of it.
Conservatives are intentionally pushing a false narrative about a new Netflix film that actually denounces the hypersexualization of young girls. And the reason why they're intentionally spreading disinformation about the film is because it's not a secret. They're trying to rile up QAnon conspiracy theorists who are honestly an ever-growing presence within the Republican electorate. And so QAnon, for those of you who might not have been following this story, has this ridiculous conspiratorial ideology alleging that there is a cabal of satanic, or Satan worshipers who also happen to be pedophiles running a global sex trafficking ring involving children. These pedophiles.
Because I don't want them to cut us off, and I want to hear a annoying voice anymore and stuff like that. Yeah, fam. Yeah, first of all, she's part of that CAA crew. She's in an Offspring, her agency, so she's got to protect that stuff. Yeah. That's why her rhetoric has changed. And secondly, even though QAnon can maybe get way out of bounds, sometimes they've got a lot of things right. Do we want to deny the fact that there's pedophilia within Hollywood?
I'll say that James Alefonte's stuff was, I don't even know if that was QAnon. It's just out there.
Okay,
James Alefonte's stuff was really fucked up.
I don't trust QAnon at all. Okay, this isn't about QAnon. This is my problem. She's making this about QAnon. That's my problem with the neoliberals. They're taking something that is a problem, which is over-sexualization of children and the child sex trafficking, and they're making it, QAnon is saying this, so that must be QAnon, and so you have to dismiss it. Exactly. My argument, if I was a lawyer in a courtroom, it would be, okay, this has nothing to do with QAnon. This is an issue by itself. If QAnon, who has some parts of truth in their arguments that are filled with a lot of untruths, okay, wants to fucking talk about it, that doesn't make it any less valid just because you're trying to put a political narrative on this. There shouldn't be a hyper partisanship of child sex trafficking, period. And what she's doing is making it impossible to talk about this issue, because the moment you bring up child sex trafficking or satanic cults or anything like that, it's going to be dismissed as QAnon bullshit, and that is dangerous. It's the same thing as calling naming everybody as a fascist when you refuse to say that Joe Biden and the Democrats are also being fascist. They're censoring left and right, just like the Trump administration is. They're all complicit in all of this. So you are like, she's politicizing an issue that is a real issue that shouldn't be politicized. But here's TYT spending all these hours talking about QAnon, talking about how awful the right is and how awful Trump is, and they're not even talking about Assange. They haven't mentioned Julian Assange for one fucking goddamn second. Why? Because it doesn't affect them, because they're part of the elite neoliberal media. They are MSNBC light for progressive. That's all, flat out. Yeah. That's the only reason they're not talking about it.
And I want to talk a little bit about this movie too. Well, again, and here's my main problem with it. Once again, it's like they put the theocracy in there. Like, look at the theocracy. Look how they're treated. Women are treated in other countries. How awful it is, whatnot, like that. And then they kind of turn to this mechanism that is normalized and glorified. And I don't give a shit what you're saying. That's that they always try to make it look like, oh, it's a cultural problem. No. Why don't we look at the fact that people, and I've said this before, since the Britney Spears era, when I walked out of my house one day and there was little girls dancing, very, very young, and I was about 5-6 years older than them, and I looked at them and the way they were dancing and what they were doing, I was like, well, wait, I don't know if this is okay. You know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be want to dance, but they put this in there. This was programming by people who control the media, by people who control Hollywood and entertainment, and they never ever put it on them. They always put it on us, like it's just a cultural problem that we have to deal with and we have to work out. You know what I'm saying? What she is saying is completely wrong, because not only did they normalize it, they kind of glorified the act. And I had a problem with that. I'm like, all right, listen, this is not just about the sexualization. This is the actions they're acting to as well. And they're okaying the way they're acting as far as their tempers and the way they handle things. And they made them look cool, and everybody wanted to be with them, these type of girls and stuff. So, I mean, I have a hard time with censorship. But right now, at a time when nobody's talking about the Epstein thing and talking about these situations,
right,
they just want to throw that out there and act like, oh, this is just QAnon.
Exactly. And I don't think you should censor the movie. I think people had a lot of problem with the marketing of the movie, because it was marketed in the U.S. differently than it was actually marketed elsewhere. In the U.S., they use the pictures with the girls with all the makeup and stuff like that, because the U.S. responds to that marketing. But we're hypocritical in the sense of other marketing. We want to, we don't want to legalize sex work. We don't want to do that. That's what we should be talking about. The problem with how we are, like, the U.S. views kids, and we're not talking about Epstein. We're not talking about the child sex trafficking. So you want to pretend that this movie is going to fix that without addressing all of the other stuff? Like, it's
same thing with the Epstein movie, fam. They made it look like he's a bad apple and it's not a global sex ring. They whitewashed that shit, and they're doing the same thing here. So that's why I have a big problem with the movie too as well. Stop whitewashing shit and making it look like a cultural problem when you friggin' elites there in Hollywood push out the Lady Gagas and push out the freaking, Britney Spears and the sexuality from little girls. I had to stop the movie several times. I'm like, this is hard to watch. That's an 11-year-old girl. They're saying they're to boys that they're 14, but they're acting like they're 18, 19. Yeah. And nobody's pointing out the fact that this is not the parents' fault. This is not bad parenting. This was implanted in our society.
And it's funny because
westernized society.
I saw that clip too, and I remember being 12, and I was definitely looked a lot older when I was 12, and like I remember like how easily it was to sexualize little girls at that age. Like it was so easy, and like the same conversation. Well, how old are you? Like this is what America does, and instead of talking about something like Julian Assange or talking about the real issue with child sex trafficking, TYT is talking about how bad Trump is and QAnon is shit. Yeah. Just and of course, just so they can also eventually be like, well, Tulsi Gabbard is spewing out the same blah 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 blah.
That's
blah,
what she
blah,
said.
blah.
I just scrolled to it because someone in the chat said it.
Of course.
Let's hear this real quick.
Of course.
Who tweeted about this said, Netflix is trying to profit from the sexual exploitation of young children through its latest film Cuties. That's not right. As a parent, I find it disturbing. Then you have another right winger, Tulsi Gabbard, tweeting, cuties will certainly whet the appetite of pedophiles and help fuel the child sex trafficking trade. 1 in 4 victims of trafficking are children. It happened to my friend's 13-year-old daughter. Netflix, you are now complicit. #cancel Netflix. She then later said that she canceled Netflix herself. But here's the problem. Most of the people.
She takes money from the same people who really are a bunch of pedophiles themselves and stuff. So who are you protecting? I mean, seriously.
That's hilarious.
Another right winger, Tulsi Gabbard.
She just slid that in there, like, okay, first
Anna, who's
of all,
on your paycheck? That Katzenberg money, right?
Tulsi Gabbard has never been a Republican, you dumbass. She ran out as a Democrat. The only reason you're calling her a right winger is because she calls out the neoliberal establishment that you profit of. So obviously you don't like her. You don't like people who spew off truth because it threatens you and it threatens your non-independent media because you literally take money from the same people that she's criticizing, the Hillary Clintons of the world. Yeah, that's right. Come on, let's stop the
27
bullshit.
Times on the plane.
If she admitted it, if she said, you know what, I don't like Tulsi Gabbard because she threatens my way of life, I would accept that. I'd be like, Anna, let's have coffee. But no, she won't say that because she's a fucking liar.
Anna is so old news. Guys,
I'm just trying to find that tweet where they have the voting record of Tulsi and the squad members, and they're like 97% on the
Oh yeah, but she won't say anything against AOC because AOC is a goddess, and you have to worship her.
You just talked about that.
Okay, that's what
that was the Tashillis one. Yeah. Right.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. Well, I gotta say this: if you want to be considered progressive, I want no part of. Yeah, if they're considered progressives, fuck them. Like I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not. I stopped calling myself a progressive really because I'm a leftist, and I just think the word progressive, unfortunately, has also been tarnished.
I'm not giving it up, fam.
Oh, man, we gotta change our name of our show. Well, it says progressive in the.
Well, we are what actual progressives should be, not fucking neoliberal, soul-sucking Kasparian.
Well, Kasparian, she's just taking care of who butters her bread. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the Benjamins there. And we know who it is. Anna gets money from the same people that fund the Clintons, the Katzenbergers, whatnot. And really, to tell you the truth, your network stinks. I mean, where the hell have you guys been? You guys have fallen. How the mighty have fallen. You are it. Anna, you stink. And all it took was a few dollars to buy you off.
A few bucks.
And she won't hear this because I've been blocked.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? And Democrats can't get anything right. Once again, another reason, every single time, like when you talk about those people who are tempted to vote for Donald Trump just because the Democrats can't get anything right, Democrats back away from quick reversal of Trump tax cuts. Now, remember when I said this, fam? It always bothered me that more people got in the streets to protest Jeff Sessions getting fired from Donald Trump because they thought that he was, you know what I'm saying, than the people going out there and going out and marching in the streets for Donald Trump's tax cuts, where he gave people at the top and his friends a ton of money just because he cut a couple taxes down below, saying a little bit off the bottom. He gave out money to his friends, and now it's saying that Democrats are backing away from vows to reverse Donald Trump's tax cuts if they take control of the Senate and the White House. Senate Democrats have suggested they would quickly move on the issue. Now say they are likely to delay a standalone tax legislation if Democratic Joe Biden is the nominee and is elected president and their party controls the House and Senate. They can't get anything freaking right.
No.
They can't get anything right. They can't get anything right. Not one goddamn thing could they get right.
Yep.
Corporate taxes get to stay.
Corporate taxes get to stay, fam.